Last week I laid my grandfather to rest. He was a wretched man, casting a shadow of misery over everyone in his wake. His legacy to me was nothing but a collection of bitter memories and debts. Every day I harbored a wish for his demise until, at the ripe age of 91, he passed away. I was the one who tended to him, the one who discovered him in his final moments. He sat upright in bed, his heart giving out suddenly, ending his life before sleep could claim him. His eyes bore that same furious glare he so often wore in life fixed on me. Left with his estate, I organized a modest and swift funeral, minimizing the disruption to those compelled to attend, wanting to spare them further intrusion. In ages past, my name held significance. During a visit to an old school friend, another haunting dream or vision struck. Once more, I found myself trapped in darkness, the suffocating confines feeling more palpable than ever. Sensations overwhelmed me. Every inch of my being felt different, burdened with age. I realized I inhabited my grandfather's body. Desperation gripped me as I clawed at the surrounding wood, enduring searing pain as my fingernails tore off. Awakening from this torment, I noticed the worry etched on my friend's face. He recounted how, in the midst of our conversation, my demeanor had abrupted. Agitated, I tried to hastily depart, seemingly forgetting my whereabouts. Only through his adept handling did he manage to keep me seated until the episode passed. The switch is imminent, leaving me scant time to prepare. This letter serves as my final testament. As I pen these words, I've ingested a cocktail of medications that will plunge me into a profound slumber. I've allocated the last remnants of my finances to arrange for my burial in the woods. I refrain from disclosing the identities of those aiding me in this endeavor, but I trust their loyalty, provided the payment is sufficient. When I awaken, or when my grandfather reawakens, he will discover that his entrapment is absolute. I refuse to yield. He shall endure the same fate as I, confined underground until our bodies decay. When I awaken, he will discover that I refuse to yield. He shall endure the same fate as I, confined underground until our bodies decay. He will discover that I refuse to yield. He shall to yield. He shall It wasn't until my 10th birthday that I gathered the courage to ask my mom about Alice and the unsettling experiences I'd encountered. She revealed that my grandmother had acquired Alice for free from a woman who seemed unhinged. Strangely, the woman's daughter had passed away just days before she disposed of the doll. My mom shared her research findings. Turns out, the doll had 7 previous owners, all of whom had met tragic ends. Each one of them had died at the age correlating to the number of years they'd owned the doll, starting from 1 year old and ascending with each subsequent owner. I was the sole survivor, having reached my 8th year. Following extensive counseling and rest, I've managed to recover from the ordeal. Unfortunately, the 7 previous girls who encountered Alice, or as our family refers to her, the staring Dolly, weren't as fortunate as me, meeting tragic fates one after another.